Hi, everybody. I'm just recording a class because I'm away this coming Monday. So I thought if I recorded a class, you could maybe play it instead. So I'm going to make the theme of our practice today around the idea of peace. I was having a chat with some of you on Facebook about what it means to be spiritual. And that's a theme that maybe we're going to be developing later, or I might be doing a separate workshop on it. But really, the whole philosophy and construct of yoga is about developing inner peace. And it's also really important for our own health and healing and well-being. And I just wanted to share that a few years ago, I had an email from my teacher when I was studying something called Vedanta, which is a kind of esoteric form of yoga. And on the email, my teacher had said to me, "You do not have to be liked. You do not have to be successful. Take only any action that you do with the idea of being peaceful." And at the time, this is quite radical because, of course, we do so much in life. We chase things. We even chase the idea of being well. But we need to maybe think more about how can I be peaceful. In yoga, we study something called the Yoga Sutras. And the second Yoga Sutra is Chitta Vritti Nirodha, which is considered to be the most important sutra of yoga. And it's the sutra that explains what yoga means. And a very approximate translation is that the state of yoga comes about when the mind becomes quiet. So a lot of people, when you say, what do you think yoga is? We think that yoga is about being healthy or having a fabulous body. And that's not the case. Yoga is about cultivating peace. It's about being peaceful. So the session this morning is all about how can we become more peaceful. So with that in mind, please come to a comfortable sitting position. And as always, if it's not comfortable for you to sit, then it's absolutely fine if you need to lie down. We will be coming down to lying soon. But we'll be doing a bit of breath work first and a little bit of chanting, and that's always quite good if we can sit to start. So just take a moment or two to observe your posture. So I suggest you start with your feet flat on the floor, hands on the knees. Think about the spine being upwards, like a spring rising up, but you're not straining yourself to sit upright. So there's a feeling of ease in the body as well. Having the ears away from, the shoulders away from the ears. So you might like to just gently roll the shoulders to relax them back down. Front of the chest is lifted, so the heart is lifted. The ribs, the lower ribs are open. And then we have this feeling of space between the crown of the head and the tailbone. So there's a feeling of lift and alertness in the body and the spine, but also a feeling of being easeful as well. And as always, remember that anything I say is just a suggestion. So you don't need to do it. If you need to rest out at any point, please do so. And also remember, you don't need to keep looking at the screen because that can be tiring. So if you just want to follow my voice instead and look away from the screen, that's absolutely fine. So just take a moment or two to arrive in your body. And notice how you are. And see if you can make this observation neutral, so it's not a judgment, but just noticing how the physical body is, how the mind is, and how the emotions are. And then if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes. And just think about for a moment or two what peace means to you. We say in yoga it means not being disturbed, even when our life circumstances might seem to be disturbing. But we have to actually cultivate our inner peace. It's not something that just happens. We have to maybe Give it a little bit of attention, having a quieter life, maybe simplifying our lives. And of course, illness and fatigue can offer us this opportunity to cultivate a quieter, more peaceful life. So we're going to start with some breath work now. So take your hands to your heart, left hand on the heart, right hand on top. And we're going to inhale and open the arms wide. Exhale, we're going to hug ourselves. And then take a couple of breaths here. One hand to one shoulder, one to the opposite shoulder. And then when you've taken your 2 breaths, inhale again, open the arms wide, and then hug yourself the other way. And then just keep on with this movement in your own breath rhythm. If you get tired, rest out. And then drop the hands to the knees. And then we're going to encourage the diaphragm to begin to move and encourage the breath to come a little lower down in the body. So take one hand and place it on the heart and the other on the belly. Just see if you can breathe into the lower hand. So direct the breath lower down in the body. And think of breathing slow and low. And if it's comfortable for you, as you exhale, slightly take the navel to the spine, just to help to encourage the movement of the diaphragm. And then drop the hands to the knees. And just see if you can follow the spaces around the breath. So as you inhale, there's a slight pause, and then you breathe out. And then there's a natural pause after the out breath, and then you breathe in, pause, breathe out. And particularly focus on the pause after the exhalation. And if you can, slow the breath down and breathe through the nose. If you've got breathing difficulties, don't worry. This is just something to aim for. See if you can just observe those pauses around the breath, particularly after the out breath, before the in breath naturally arises. And then relax out. And with the eyes closed, if that's comfortable for you, just see if you can begin to sense a sense of aliveness in the inner body. So can you maybe feel tingling, any vibration? And then see if you can begin to sense an idea of peace. And if you can't, that's absolutely fine. But as you sit quietly, you may begin to notice that there's a deep silence kind of around you. And there might be background noises, or maybe your mind's quite active. But even so, just see if you can sense into an idea of peace and silence. Maybe watching the space between the thoughts, or the pause after the out breath. And just softening the jaw now, softening the eyes, softening the shoulders down, and just feeling the head floating on the neck. And then we're going to do a little bit of chanting. As always, this is optional. So we're going to chant Shanti. You might be aware of this. It's quite a common chant that's used in yoga, and it means peace. Shanti. So I'll do it first, and then you can begin to join in. And I'm going to do it with movement. I'm going to take my hands to my heart. I'm going to inhale and open my arms wide. If you need to look up the screen for this, please do so. And then I'm going to chant peace into my heart. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhale, open the arms wide. Please join in when you're ready. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhale, rest out when you need to. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now continue in your own breathing rhythm, which is probably different from mine. But if you want to rest out, please do so. So really listen in to how your body is in this moment. Does it need to keep moving? Does it need to rest? So you keep listening. And then from your position, again, just tune in to how you are emotionally, physically, mentally. And just observe your center, your peaceful center. The real you lies behind the thoughts and the emotions. The part of you that never changes. Just see if you can find this now. And if you can't, that's fine. Maybe you're just beginning to glimpse those spaces of peace between the thoughts after the out breath. And then when you're ready, we're just going to do a little bit of tapping because this helps us to really engage with our physical body. So take your left palm out, and then with the fingers of the right palm, we're just going to start to tap on the palm and then come up the inner arm, up the upper arm to the shoulder, and just tap around the shoulder, and then tap under the armpit, and then tap down the arm again to the palm and relax. And then take that to the other side. So the other arm comes out, fingertips, the opposite arm, just tapping the palm. We can turn the hand down and tap along the top of the hand, and then tapping along the lower arm, the elbow, then the upper arm to the shoulder. Just tapping around the shoulder, and then turning the palm up and coming down the inner arm. And then just shake out your palms and your arms. Drop your hands to your knees. Close your eyes for a moment or two and just bring your awareness into your arms and your hands and your palms and observe how that feels. Then we're going to tap the chest. Tapping down to the lower ribs, the belly, and back up again. And then we're going to tap around the head. So it'd be quite nice to tap around the skull and the neck. Just tapping wherever you like to feel the aliveness in the body, This really helps to wake us up, tapping around the eyes, the cheeks, the chin. Again, just shaking out the hands and then dropping the hands to the knees. Again, just take a moment or two to observe how you're feeling. With the eyes closed, if that's comfortable for you. And if it's comfortable for you, bring your awareness to the breath. Just observing that you are breathing slow and low through the nose, if you are able to. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down to lying, if that's comfortable for you. So if you need to remain sitting, that's fine. If you prefer to lie on your front, that's also fine if you have breathing difficulties. Otherwise, start on your back with your knees bent. And I suggest you have a cushion under your head just to help, or a block, just to help to lengthen the back of the neck, taking the chin down towards the chest. So feet are hip width apart, heels coming towards the buttocks. And if your legs are particularly tired, you can just take the knees together. And then the arms are a comfortable distance away from the body with the palms turned up. And if that's not comfortable for your shoulders, you can turn the palms down, or you can even rest them on the belly. So just take a moment or two to work out what feels comfortable for you, making any adjustments that you need to. I'm going to direct you as if you're lying on your back, but obviously if you're on your front or on a chair, you just modify my instructions, or my suggestions, I should say. I don't like to use the word instructions. And then you might like to just lift up the tailbone and drop the back down, and just take a moment or two to engage the back with your support. So you're really feeling that the earth is supporting and hugging the back, and you can let go on every out breath into the floor or whatever it is you're lying on that is beneath you. So just take a moment or two to make that observation. And then very gently and very slowly roll the head from side to side. Just releasing the neck, observing if it feels different on one side to the other. And then centering the head. And then take your hand to your heart. And just see if you can breathe in a sense of peace to your heart on the inhalation. So drop your awareness to your heart out of the head and the mind. Inhale peace. If you want to see this as a color, you can. Or you might like to say the mantra silently to your heart, Shanti, almost as if you're placing the mantra at your heart. And as you exhale, just feel yourself relaxing and letting go. So inhale Shanti, inhale peace to the heart. Exhale, let go. And then take your hands and just palm your eyes. So very loosely have your palms over your eyes with your fingertips coming up towards your hairline. And if you would like, remembering it's always a choice, we're going to chant 3 times to the eyes. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So repeat that twice more in your own breathing rhythm, or just visualize peace coming into the head and the eyes. And then if you don't have back issues and you're on your back, you might like to stretch out your legs now because your back will have started to release. So slide out one heel to the corner of your mat, then the other, so the feet are nice and wide apart, because this helps to relax the lower back. Feet falling away to the sides. You might like to just draw the shoulders down a little away from the ears. And then we're going to place one hand on the heart, the other on the belly. And again, we're just going to think about breathing into the lower hand at the belly. So the hand on the heart is just pacifying the chest. And this is something you can do throughout the day, just to check in with your breathing. And I suggest you do it at night. If you wake up in the night, before you go to sleep, when you wake up in the morning, just check your breath. So the belly is rising slightly with the in breath and dropping away on the exhalation. And the movement is in the belly, not the chest. The upper chest and the shoulders are relaxed. And if you can, you're breathing slowly through the nose, slow and low. And then when you're ready, relax your hands down in any way that's comfortable for you. Just relaxing now, again, come into the body. And again, see if you can find this sense of peace. Feel that you are surrounded by a bubble of peace. Or look for the silence between the thoughts. And we're going to drop a reflective question in now. So a reflective question is one that doesn't need an answer. You're just dropping it into the silence. And maybe the answer will come to you during the week. So it's not something that we are demanding. It's just something that we are asking. So the reflective question is, how can I cultivate more peace in my life? How may I cultivate more peace in my life? So just drop that question into the silence now. And what we're looking for here is finding the real self, the real authentic you, which is not affected by your symptoms, not affected by your fatigue, not affected by the changing rhythms of your energy or your health, but the real you, which is ever present behind the chatter of the mind and the coming and going of the emotions, the coming and going of the life circumstances. And then we're going to begin to do some gentle movement. Again, this is a choice. You don't have to do it, just listening to how you're feeling. But if you'd like to move, bring the feet together. And you can, of course, keep the knees bent if that's more comfortable for your back. So we're going to take the arms down beside us with the palms turned down. We're going to breathe in and lift the arms. Now, if they don't come all the way behind the head, you might just take them to wherever is comfortable, or you can open them wider because that might be more comfortable for your shoulders, or you can place a cushion behind you. And then as we breathe out, we're going to chant, Shante, shante, shante. So the end of the out breath is on the last shante. But if you need to take an extra breath, that's fine. But we are trying to coordinate the chant with the breathing and the movement. So it's like a moving meditation. So when you're ready, inhale, lift the arms up behind you, and then chanting the palms back beside the hips. Shante, shante, shante. Inhale, lifting up. Shante, shante, shante. So continue like that in your own breathing rhythm 3 or 4 times, but listen into your energy levels. So if you're feeling you've got more stamina today, you might like to do more. If you're feeling particularly tired, you can rest out and just visualize the movement. So it's really important to listen to your body and respect your energy. That is how we cultivate kindness and self-compassion. So please don't push. There's no competition here, not even with yourself. And then when you've finished, just hug the knees into the chest, rock out the spine from side to side. And then take the arms out like a cross. Drop the knees towards the left side. You might want to put a cushion under the knees if they don't come all the way down. Roll the head to look over the right shoulder. And just see if you can rest here for a few breaths. And if that's too strong in the twist, you could just lower the knees a little further down. As I say, you might like to put cushions. I'll just demonstrate this if you need to look up. Try not to disturb Nelly on the sofa. So if you want to put a cushion there, you can, just to pad yourself out if that makes it more comfortable. So the shoulders are aligned on your support. Head is going in one direction, knees in the other direction. And feel that the out breath is allowing you to rest more and more deeply into the twist on every exhalation. Just find this sense of stillness in the posture. And then when you're ready, center the head and the knees. If you want to work more gently, just keep the knees with the feet on the floor. If you want to work more dynamically, bring the knees into the chest. And then on an out breath, we're going to take that twist in the opposite direction. So knees come over to the right, head rolls to look over the left shoulder, using your cushion under your knees if you need to. And again, just allow yourself to rest deeply in the twist, allowing the out breath to help you really to relax and let go further on every exhalation. And then breathing in, centering the head and the knees. And then we're going to come into a posture known as Supta Baddha Konasana. So for this, we're going to take the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the side. Now, again, if you need to use cushions under the knees, I've got one under my right knee. If you've got tight hips or sore knees, please do so. And if your hips and knees are too sore, then lie in a relaxed posture and just visualize this. And you can rest your hands on your belly, or if you want to open up the front of the body more, opening up the rib cage, you can take the arms behind you. So you decide which works for you, whether you want cushions under your knees, whether you want to rest the hands on the belly or behind the head. And just feel on every exhalation, you are releasing more and more from the groin. So in this position, diaphragm's nice and free. Relax the lower back. Feel that lovely opening in the rib cage. And just allow yourself to breathe through the nose, slow and low, if that's comfortable for you. And to help us with our breathing practice, we're going to hum the breath out 3 to 5 times on every exhalation. So breathing through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Continue in your own breathing rhythm 3 to 5 times. My breath rhythm is different from yours, so just let you do that quietly, or rather, I will be quiet. And then whenever you need to, just gently bring the knees together. If you need to massage into the groin, please do so, or massage anywhere that might feel tight. And just to release from that posture, we're going to draw the knees into the belly. And we're going to work into something called Apanasana just to relieve any stiffness. So hold around the knees or under the knees. Breathe in as you let the knees float away from you and the elbows are straightening. And then exhale and draw the knees into the belly. Just taking a few breaths like that with the movement. And if you like, as you move like this, you can incorporate the chant very softly, chanting to yourself. So as you exhale and the knees move in towards you, you can just chant Shante, Shante, Shante. Or you can keep that silent, or even just say the mantra silently to yourself. We're just taking a few more breaths like that in your own breathing rhythm. And then just rest with the knees over the belly, palms down beside the hips. And then if you're not too fatigued, if you have the vitality, breathe in and lift the right leg. You can either keep the knee and the foot soft, or you can make it more dynamic, flexing the foot and the back of the knee. So really listen in and honor how your energy is today. Take a few breaths like this. As you exhale, bend the knee back into the belly. On another inhalation, lift the left leg, deciding if you want the leg dynamic or relaxed. Or even lower, you might not be able to lift it all the way up, that's fine too. Exhale and lower. And then either rest down or do that 2 or 3 times more in your own breath rhythm. Lifting on the in-breath, lowering on the out-breath. So we're combining the movement and the breath together. And then drop the feet to the mat. And then rest in any way that's comfortable for you. So that might be with the knees bent, or it might be with the legs straight and apart, palms turned up, or wherever you like to have them. And again, bring your awareness into your body. And just allow your awareness to float around your back. So you're scanning your back from the lower spine up to the shoulders, just observing where you are touching your support and where there are spaces. Just seeing how the back is. So whether there's pain or tension or relaxation and comfort, just observe that without making any judgment. Just allowing everything to be as it is, so we're not resisting anything. And then if you're okay following the breath, bring your awareness back to the breath. If not, keep your awareness in your back. And again, just observe the difference between the in breath and the out breath. And then observe the space, the natural pause after the exhalation before the in breath naturally rises. And also observe that we are resting between movement because we want to pace ourselves, we want to let the body re-establish its equilibrium, recalibrate. And this is an attitude we want to take off the mat as well, so that when we're going about our daily business, we are also remembering to stop, pace, pause before we do the next thing. And in this way, we can begin to cultivate peace. So again, just see if you can find that sense of peace in your body, in your mind. And then when you're ready, we're going to do some more very gentle movement. And again, this is a choice. So we're going to do a bit of movement from the bridge posture, but we're going to start with the pelvic tilt. So please bend the knees, having the feet hip width apart, heels in line with the buttocks. Turn the palms down beside you. And just think about your pelvic area. And if we can, we're going to move with the breath. So take an in breath where you are. And as you exhale, take the navel to the spine and take the lower back into your support, into your mat, just to slightly lift the tailbone or whisper off the mat. And then breathing in, release. So the movement, very subtle movement, is on the out breath. Exhale, navel to spine, just taking the small of the back into the mat to tilt the pelvis. Breathe in and relax. And just take that movement a few times in your own breathing rhythm. We're just mobilizing the lower back and the pelvis. These movements are very small and subtle, but they're very powerful. And then just relax down and breathe normally for a moment or two. Take away any support from under your head. Tuck the chin into the chest to lengthen the neck. Palms are down beside the hips. Just take a moment or two to bring your awareness into the sense of your feet and your palms solid on your support. Keep the length in the back of the neck. On the next in-breath, begin to lift the hips to come up gently onto the shoulders. Keep the back of the neck long and the knees stable. And then breathing out, lower the spine to come back into your semi-supine posture. And if that's enough for you, rest out now. Otherwise, if you have the stamina, if you're feeling okay, you can do that once or twice more in your own breathing rhythm. So working to lift on the in-breath and then moving back on the out-breath. Just take that movement once or twice more in your own breathing rhythm. And then when you've finished a counter pose, just hug the knees into the chest. Rock out the spine from side to side. And then roll to one side and stay there for a moment or two. Just resting on your side. And then when you're ready, we're going to do a little bit of movement from the cat posture. So you have a choice either to come onto a chair or to be on all fours in a tabletop posture. So I'm actually going to come onto a chair. So for my chair, I'm going to place a cushion behind me to support my back so that my feet are nicely placed on the floor. If you prefer to work from the floor, you can. So from my chair, I'm just going to march my left feet and my right foot up and down, just to help me feel really solid in the body. Lift the hand with the foot. Look up at the screen if you want to see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to breathe in and lift the heart. Breathe out and arch the spine, dropping the chin to the chest. So we're just opening up the front of the body on the in-breath and then arching on the out-breath. And then resting in any way that's comfortable for you. I'm now going to demonstrate from the floor. Now for the next sequence, you can't actually do this from the chair, but you can visualize it. So if you're on all fours, hands are under the hips, knees are under the knees are under the hips, hands are under the shoulders or slightly forward, fingers are apart, and the weight is over the hips. We're going to circle the pelvis. Just start by making small, slow circles. And then if you like, you can make those a little bigger. And just experiment and play about. What feels nicer? Does it feel nicer to make small circles or larger ones? And then take that in the opposite direction. So encourage a sense of play and curiosity here. So we're just experimenting with what feels nice for the body. At any time anything feels painful, then you stop, or you modify, or you rest. So what's really important is this sense of cultivating what feels right for you, listening to your inner voice rather than what I'm saying, doing what feels right. Everything I am saying is just a suggestion. Coming back to center. And then if you're on a chair, you can join in for this next bit. We're going to lift our right arm and then bring it back to the floor. And then lift the left arm, palm is facing inwards, and then bringing it back to the floor. Look down at the mat to keep the back of the neck long, and just take that a couple of times to each side. Come back to neutral cat. Rest down if you want to. So I'm in pose of a child. I've got my knees nice and wide, head on the mat, bottom coming towards the heels, arms in front. But if that's not comfortable, you can lie on your back. And if you're on a chair, just fold forward, dropping the hands down to the feet, head down to your knees. Take a few resting breaths. And then coming up, we're going to take that with our legs now. So we're going to take the right leg up and then bring it down. And then the left leg. Looking down at the mat to keep that length in the back of the neck. And I'm going to put in a posture now, which I don't usually do in our fatigue classes because it's quite dynamic and I always am aware that this might be too much. I'm also aware that when we have chronic fatigue, long COVID, ME, many of us, including myself, have that personality type where we like to compete and push and do more than we really should. So I've got this huge caveat here, which is please don't do the next posture. And yes, you're absolutely sure it's not going to be too much or cause a relapse. Only do it if you feel you do have the stamina and energy. And also, you don't have to do it now. It might be something you might like to do tomorrow when you're feeling that you have got more energy. So we're going to do a down dog if you would like to. So if that is the case, come back to your cat position, this time on the floor. Take the hands one hand space in front and tuck the toes under. And then we're going to take an in breath and we come up on an out breath. So breathe in, breathe out, lift the hips. Just take a couple of breaths here. Keep the back of the neck long. So looking towards the belly button to keep that length in the neck. Don't drop the heels down to the mat, but work the chest towards the knees. Just take a couple of breaths. And then whenever you want to come out, you come out on an in breath. And then rest in your favorite posture. And as I said, if you're on a chair, you can just fold forward. It's quite nice just to come into a forward bend. And now please get ready for our final relaxation. So rest in any position that's comfortable for you. So that might be on a bed, on a sofa, on your back, your side, or your front, or you can stay sitting on a chair if you want. But just take a moment or two to gather any blankets or eye masks, put on socks, anything that will help you to stay warm because the body temperature tends to drop as we relax. And just allowing yourself to be really still and comfortable for around 10 minutes. So I'll just give you a moment or two for that. I'm going to switch my camera off now and I'll switch it on back again at the end of the session. And while I'm directing the relaxation, I'm going to be sitting next to Nellie here, who is the world's expert in resting and relaxation and is very inspirational to me. So she's the yoga dog, queen of yoga. So as I said, I'll just give you a moment or two to get ready. So we're going to do an autogenic relaxation this morning. And some of you might be familiar with this already. And it's something that you can learn quite easily so that you can actually do this yourself. Maybe every day, it's a good practice to do. I mean, I personally always do a yoga nidra every day. I find them on YouTube, but I also sometimes do this one. So it's a nice alternative to a yoga nidra. So just take a moment or two to become aware of your body and its position. And then I'm going to direct you around the body, and I'd like you just to repeat my words 3 times to yourself. My right arm is heavy. My right arm is heavy. My right arm is heavy. My left arm is heavy. My left arm is heavy. My left arm is heavy. My right leg is heavy. My right leg is heavy. My right leg is heavy. My left leg is heavy. My left leg is heavy. My left leg is heavy. My right arm is comfortably warm. My right arm is comfortably warm. My right arm is comfortably warm. My left arm is comfortably warm. My left arm is comfortably warm. My left arm is comfortably warm. My right leg is comfortably warm. My right leg is comfortably warm. My right leg is comfortably warm. My left leg is comfortably warm. My left leg is comfortably warm. My left leg is comfortably warm. My whole body is heavy and comfortably warm. My whole body is heavy and warm. My whole body is heavy and warm. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My heartbeat is calm and regular. My whole body breathes calmly. My whole body breathes calmly. My whole body breathes calmly. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. Bringing your awareness back into the body, just feel that you are breathing in a sense of peace in every inhalation. And another reflective question. Just ask yourself, what can I let go of which might interfere with my peace? What can I release that might interfere with my peace? And what is it that brings me peace? Feel now into your inner body. Become aware of your hands and the inner sensation of your hands. Become of stillness, even if there are sounds, and just fix your attention for a moment or two on the stillness. Staying connected to this sense of inner spaciousness and stillness, knowing that this is who you really are. This is your true nature. And then just becoming aware of the sense of your clothing, of where you are touching, your support, where there are spaces, being aware of any taste in the mouth, any smells, and then just beginning to make very small movements with your fingers and toes. Of course, if you wish to, you can just keep on resting. And then just beginning to move and stretch a little. And when you're ready, roll to one side, stay there for a moment or two, just to let the heart and the blood pressure come back to normal, not moving too fast. Taking as much time as you need. And when you're ready, please come up to a comfortable sitting position. And just take some time to come back into your space, into your body. So feel yourself in your body. Just look around your space just to bring you back to the here and now. Do whatever it needs to help you wake up. So if you need to rub your hands or clap them, shake them out, palm your eyes, tap around your face, just take a moment or two to come back to the here and now. And feel that you are here in your body, safe in this moment in your space. And then to close the practice, we're going to chant Shanti, Shanti, Shanti to our hearts. So left hand on the heart, right hand on top. And we'll do this together. And remember, if my breath is too long and you can't follow, it's fine to take an extra breath to chant. And if you don't want to chant, you can just breathe or listen. So closing the eyes, dropping the awareness to the heart, inhaling. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Keeping your awareness in your heart, just become aware of this sense of peace in the body, in the mind. Just being aware that peace is your true nature and it is always here for you. There's something for you to cultivate. If you can make a little bit of time every day just to be still, to remind yourself of this peace which is always here. And then when you're ready, open your eyes take your hands together to the Namaste Mudra. Namaste meaning the divine in me greets the divine that is in you. Bowing to your heart. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'll see you live very soon. Namaste.